Oh, how I love social media. It's so fun. People are just, I don't know, man. So I just got a comment about my video with the Predator 9,000 watt generator, using it to power the 15 amp battery charger on the skid, and also having the block heater plugged into it. And this guy comments and says, man, that generator's way overkill. A 2200 watt generator would have been just fine. You know what? He's totally right. There is no need to have a 9,000 watt generator out there for that purpose. However, nobody stops and thinks that maybe because I run, I don't know, heavy equipment and do forestry work and have to fabricate on trailers, and I run my welder off of it and I'm welding 1/4 to 1/2 inch plate with it out in the field sometimes, that might have just been the generator I have for my work trailers. And so therefore that's the generator I use. The generator is not going to put out a constant 7,250 watts, maxing out everything you have. That's the constant watts it can put out, and it's going to regulate it through the system itself. Plus, whatever you plug into it is only going to take what it needs of what's available. If this wasn't the case, everything in your house would blow up because, well, you have a max of whatever your watts and amps are for that, and it may not need all of that. So what's funny to me is people never just assume that you're smart enough to know what you're doing and that there might be a bigger reason. All I was doing with the video was showing what I had done and how it was working. That was it. I gotta say, I really like the Predator generator. I'm super stoked on how well it runs. It runs my welder pretty well. I have had a few issues with the breaker tripping because, for instance, in this unit that I'm welding up right now, I am gouging these out and I'm re-welding them in. And when that is occurring, if I get the tip and hit the side and the wires feeding and arcing at the same time, then it will indeed trip the breaker at times. But I'm also running this little Harbor Freight titanium at full 120 capabilities. I'm maxed out on amperage, and I'm maxed out on wire speed, and it's just a little bit much for that 9,000 watt generator if you're going to be doing that. You're going to be limited. If I wanted to run this at full max and I wanted a generator that could handle it, or if I wanted to run the 220 option on this titanium welder at full max, and we'll talk about the welder in another video, then I would actually need like a 13,000 or a 15,000 watt generator. There are a number of videos out there on how to calculate the wattage you need of a generator per welders, for instance, that are amperage. But nonetheless, assume that people that are doing this for a living, and I'm not a pro fabricator. I don't do that for a profession anymore, even though at one time I did. I am not a pro mechanic for heavy equipment, even though I work on mine all the time. But I'm around all this stuff enough to know what is overkill and what's actually needed. It just makes me laugh so hard that people feel that because you show that's what you had at your availability and that's what you're using, that you're saying that's what you have to use, which is totally stupid. I'm not going to go buy a 2200 watt generator when I have a perfectly good 9,000 watt generator that's already on my trailers most of the time. So yeah, that's it. It just makes me laugh and chuckle a little bit. So hope you guys have a good day. Leave the stupidest comment you can think of that you've seen in a video that would be just absolutely redundant and stupid and useless. I'm curious to know what kind of ridiculous comments you guys have seen out there that just show how ridiculous people are.